Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at this. This is a Swytch Go, and it goes along with the other videos I have on my Swytch bike that go back now 4 years. And I ordered this 2 years ago. I received it about this time last year. And because of some other things I have going on, it's been sitting on a shelf waiting for me to get around to it. Now, I purchased this as what they call an upgrade kit. It was inexpensive, under $300. And as an upgrade, it includes this, which is the battery and the motor controller built into one, and the cable that goes along with it, and a charger, and nothing else. So no motor and no pedal sensor. And I got that because I already have 2 Generation 3 Swytch kits installed on my bike and my wife's bike, and we're very, very happy. 4 years later, still works absolutely fine. I wanted to compare the two. I wanted to use this as a backup in case I ever go more than 35 miles, and from time to time I do. And then I wanted to also demonstrate that if you have an older Swytch kit and your battery is no good, and you don't want to get into upgrading the cells in there, and at some point I'm going to make a video and show you how to do that, you could plug this right in and go with your existing motor and your existing pedal sensor. So we're going to put this on my good old year 2000 Trek bike. See if it fits. I'm going to show you what it takes to make it work. We're going to try it. We're going to go for a ride. I'll give you my follow-up thoughts, and then I will do a real review probably in a month or two once I've got at least 100 miles on this. So thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look and let's get started. All right, so here's what you get in the box. The battery, a charger without the cable that actually plugs into the wall, which I thought was surprising. This cable, which goes from the battery to the motor, it's got a couple of other connectors on it. And then a safety warning booklet, no instruction booklet. And basically it says, hey, for the complete instructions, you got to scan this QR code. So this is really all there is to it. Now, to install this on the bike, it's got a strap system. I'm not sure that's going to work with my bike, but let's go take a look at my bike. And then, without looking at the instructions, we're going to mount this battery. I'm going to plug it into my existing motor, and we're just going to see if it works right off the bat before we get too crazy with it. All right, if you haven't seen my other Swytch videos, this is my existing bike. This is a year 2000 Trek Navigator. It's a heavy bike, but I enjoy it. I've got a Generation 3 Swytch kit that I mounted on the back, on the seat post. And I've got another video that shows how I removed the display and I mounted that on the handlebar. And this setup just works great for me. So I bought the Swytch Go thinking I would do a video on using it as a battery backup and maybe even building a switch so that it just all worked automatically. But today we're just going to see if this thing works. The only challenge I might have, I've got, these cables that run on the top. I was hoping I was going to mount it right here. But let's take a look and see how that works out. Well, it literally took 2 minutes to strap that on there. So basically, it doesn't interfere with the cables whatsoever. Got one around the back post there. And all I got to do is hook up this cable. And I'm just going to go from the port on the Swytch to my existing motor connector, and we're going to see if this thing works. It might be as simple as that, so let's find out. So after 5 minutes effort, this thing actually works. It's just mocked up, but I unplugged my existing motor connector, and I plugged in the one here. I followed my pedal sensor up to where it goes to my old battery, and I plugged it in to the Go. And that's all there is to it. When we turn this thing on, now, I charged this last year, believe it or not, and it's at a level of 4 right now. So I am going to actually route these cables, put a couple of zip ties on it, and then we're going to go for a ride and see how this does. But so far, it doesn't get much easier than that. And a couple of quick zip ties later, and we're good to go. I realize this thing is starting to look a little bit like Frankenstein's monster. We've got a lot of cables. But switching back and forth is going to be pretty straightforward for me. Now, if you guys are interested in me actually making a little device so that everything can stay in place and I can switch back and forth, let me know. But for now, let's take a ride and see how this thing goes. All right, so I'm going to go for a quick little ride and test this thing out. Here I'm leaving my driveway, getting onto the dirt road. This is a nice road to ride on, very little traffic. It's very hard-packed dirt in most cases, although you're going to see there's a bunch of potholes here and there because it is the end of spring, early summer. They do take good care of the road. There's not a lot of loose gravel, and this is why I have the tires that I have on my bike. They're well suited for these conditions. They're a little bit underinflated because this is my first ride, or one of my first rides this year, and I just haven't gotten around to airing them up. You'll see as we go forward here, we change from gravel to pavement and then back to gravel again. It's a very nice area. And this is basically a flat ride. There were a couple of little hills in here, but nothing where you would really need the pedal assist to begin with. But I did notice that not having the ability to dial the power up and then dial it back down again is just different for me. You know, as I'm going up some of these hills, the assist was absolutely fine, but we'll go on a much longer ride in a future video. I do live in an area where there are some significant hills. I'm going to be curious to see how much assist I can get going up one of the big hills compared to the amount of assist you get with the Generation 3 unit. All right, so what do I think? Well, after probably a 2-mile ride on underinflated tires with a battery that I actually charged last winter, held the charge all winter, initial impressions are pretty good. The mounting is really straightforward. There's really nothing to it. You just pedal and go. No switches or anything to fool with. I kind of like that. One thing I noticed is that the power output feels less than my existing Swytch when it's turned all the way up to 5. But it's probably designed to work that way if you don't have a display connected to it. So in my follow-up, we'll talk about that a little bit. But so far, so good. Now again, I've got my original kit mounted on the back and my display on the handlebars. And right now I can switch back and forth. If this runs out of juice, I can switch to this by unplugging 2 connectors. Just plug in the motor controller, plug in the pedal sensor. So very easy for me to go back and forth. I will do a comprehensive review coming up pretty soon. But right out of the box, I'm happy with it. I know my bike looks a little bit crazy now with all this stuff on it. But I'm enjoying this, and I'm enjoying these products. And I want to remind you guys, every Swytch video you've seen from me, these are products that I've purchased myself because I was looking for a solution for both my bike and my wife's bike. I am not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. This is actually my genuine thoughts on these products. And so far, so good. If you like my content, do me a favor and subscribe. Give this video a like. Put your comments below. I'll answer your questions where I can. And thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.